Howdy, howdy, folks. Happy Wellness Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Happy PerigirlsTV Day. Hey, fell and grinning much too. Welcome, welcome. Sign on in. Sign on in. Hey, Dr. Cosmides. Hello, Perigirls, PG Ninjas. I see you, Destin Doc. I see you, Rita M. Lewis. Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us, signing in, shooting me hearts already. I love it. Inviting followers, sharing it on Twitter. Love it. Welcome, welcome. It is Wellness Wednesday. Ask the Doc on PerigirlsTV. Welcome. Good. Hey, Dr. B. Yay. Jay Karak. Hello. I see my people. Hi, Go Rice Girl, Joanne, Cal 1985. Hi, She Be Knowing. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for joining. If this is your first time with us, with me, hi, I see everybody coming on. I am Dr. Nicole Swiner out of Durham, North Carolina, also known as Docswiner, and I am one of your happy PerigirlsTV broadcasters live on PerigirlsTV on Periscope. Welcome. Victor V71. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank y'all so much for coming. So, if you are not aware, Perigirls is a phenomenal supportive group of women, female live broadcasters on Periscope and social media. Hi, my Perigirls. Thanks for inviting followers. We are a 10,000 plus strong sorority, group, organization, whatever, sisterhood. Thanks for sharing on Twitter. Of ladies on Periscope and social media trying to spread the good word and support one another in doing all things social media, branding, broadcasting, etc. And I am pleased to be one of the PerigirlsTV broadcasting folks. And so this is my weekly show. Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining, guys. Thank you, Dr. B. Dr. B, be inspired, hashtag be inspired. One of my mentors in Periscope and social media. Thank you so much for joining. So if you need, there you go, PG Ninjas. If you need more support, would like to be a Perigirl, be involved with PerigirlsTV. I know they're looking for new show ideas. Y'all join just like PG Ninja shared as well. Yay. Hi, Real Biz Builder. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. God bless you, Angela and Bland. Yay. All right, guys. So what I do is, hi, Heart Tribes. I am a family doc. I'm a mommy, I'm a wife. Hello, Boss King 84. I am a two-time author, I'm proud to say, and I am your Superwoman Complex expert. So I wrote a book last year called How to Avoid the Superwoman Complex, and I just came out this month with the follow-up, literally called A Follow-Up Visit, the Superwoman Complex, a follow-up visit. So I'm very very excited about that. But because I'm a family doctor, I see a broad spectrum of diseases. Thank you. Diseases, illnesses, chronic condition, mental health. I see a broad spectrum of things. I tend to lean more towards minority health, mental health, pediatrics, and chronic disease, preventative disease. So one thing that I clearly treat and see daily is high blood pressure or hypertension. So when we did our weekly meeting last week, hi Scope Addicts, when we did our meeting last week, thanks for the hearts, guys. I love it. I see the flourish of hearts. I love it. Thanks for inviting followers. So last week when we did our talk, we talked about the Superwoman Complex. We talked about the Superwoman Complex a lot then, right? We took a poll and I asked the followers we need you. Thank you. We took a survey at the end and asked what we wanted to talk about, and the vote was overwhelmingly positive for hypertension. And so I'm going to talk about Under Pressure. You remember that song? Under Pressure. Talking about hypertension, what it is, what it means, causes, natural treatments, pharmaceutical treatments. Can you ever get rid of it? You like that song? Yeah. If it weren't for the whole, liability thing, I would have played it in the background. Hi, Milton. Welcome, 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 welcome. So the pressure. The pressure is real. The struggle is real. So high blood pressure, we talk about it all the time. We know it's bad. We call it a silent killer, right? It's silent. We often don't even know it's there unless you're getting your good checkups with your primary care and doing your follow-ups and all that. They're measuring your numbers. They can see what's going on. Or if you have it, sometimes you will feel it. Hi, Milton. Sometimes you will feel it. It's commonly associated with chronic headaches, blurry vision, numbness, tingling type feelings. Clearly, if it's severely elevated, it's been high for a while, or it acutely goes up. Hi, Coach Mo. Yes, PG Ninjas is running y'all to heart, 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 tap, tap, tap. Thank y'all so much and for sharing. So if you have a severely high blood pressure or it acutely shoots up, then you could have signs of stroke, heart attack. I mean, just badness, badness, badness. And it is rampant, clearly, in our country, in our nation, in our world. And so we need to be very cognizant of the signs and how to treat it and how to diagnose it when we see it. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about. We're trying to make it lighthearted. I'm going to ask y'all some questions. I'm going to pop quiz you, see what you know. You ready? Here we go. Here's the first pop quiz. Who knows what is quote unquote, here you ready? Be ready. This is some education too. What is normal blood pressure? Like literally, what is the max that your blood pressure, or what is the number that you need to be under to be considered normal? Okay. Okay, I see some 120s over 80. Coach Mo, I know you meant 120 over 80, right? 120 and 110 over 70, okay. All right. Okay, 120 over 80, okay. So, good, okay. 140 over 80, good. Sarah, 44, 12. It depends on what study you're reading. And it depends on what year. So it depends on what organization you're associated with, talking to, training. I use 140 over 90, and I'll tell you why. 140 over 90. So that's the max. That's what you need to be under in order to be considered normal blood pressure. 140 over 90. There are some caveats. 96 over 60 is pretty good. Might be too low. You don't feel dizzy, huh? Creativity Tribe got it right. 140 over 90. So there are some caveats. There are some nuances. There are some, if you have this, it might be this instead. So we'll talk about it. So the paper that I use, it's low. Yeah, that's 96 over 60 is pretty low. Lots of variables. That's right. Let's talk about it. So I use the paper from 2014 called the JNC8 for my docs. Dr. B, is that your blood pressure? That's pretty good. For my docs out there, it stands for Joint National Commission 8, and they write a new study every couple of, there you go, JNC 8. They write a new study every couple of years, and there's one on the cusp now. They're always evaluating this, always revamping the recommendations, but 2014 is kind of the one that most of us are following nowadays. Hi, welcome guys. And they say that for normal, healthy individuals. So you don't have a history of chronic disease, blood pressure, or hypertension, high sugars, diabetes, kidney disease, 140 over 90 or less is the goal. Okay. However, if you're older than age 60, we give you a little bit more space. Older than age 60, 150 over 90. So digest that for a moment. Digest that. 150 over 90 if you're above age 60. And I think the thought is because the older we get, the more likely it is. There you go. Thank you, PG. Now you're taking some good notes for me. So 150 over 90 is the goal for above age 60. And I think the thought process is as we get older, we are actually more prone to having higher blood pressures. But I think we're more careful with you having low blood pressures at that point. If you have really low blood pressure and you're in your 70s and 80s, you live alone, you can be prone to dizziness, falling, breaking a hip, badness. So I think we give a little extra space just for leeway, okay? My PG Ninjas or Joanne, y'all gotta catch that spam for me. All right, so JNC 8, 140 over 90, greater than age 60, 150 over 90. If you have diabetes or chronic kidney disease, I know you got you. I know you got me, PG Ninja. If you have diabetes or chronic kidney disease, then your number is 140 over 90 as well, no matter what age. So if you're 70, but you have diabetes or you have chronic kidney disease, renal disease, we want you to be a little bit lower than that because we want to get blood flow out to those helpful organs. Hi, Dr. Lisa Whitty, Chicks with MDs. We want to get blood flow out to those important organs, your brain, your kidneys, your heart, We want the blood to flow more easily. We don't want the heart to have to work extra hard to get the blood flow to those important organs. And clearly, with diabetes, if you're a diabetic or you know a diabetic or you treat patients for diabetes, the kidneys are hugely important. We don't want people to end up on dialysis. Hypertension, which is the medical word for hi, Mama Katie. Hypertension is the medical word for high blood pressure. That can also lead to renal disease, kidney disease, dialysis. So these things are very, very, very important. And the reason we want those blood pressures to be lower is because we want to increase blood flow, increase perfusion, so we save those organs. Thanks, Dr. Woody, for sharing and inviting followers. Okay, that makes sense? All right. So let's talk about treatment. So in the beginning, we talked about, if you're just joining us, I'm Docswiner. Hello. Our title for today is Under Pressure, like the song. And we're talking about hypertension, what it means, the causes, excellent, autoimmune disease. And okay, that might not be a bad topic for another week session. Maybe we'll do like autoimmune diseases, huh? Scleroderma being one of them. Great. Okay, so if you're just joining us, we talked about the definition, what qualifies as hypertension. And by the way, let's talk a little bit about white coat hypertension. Who's heard of white coat hypertension? Is it a thing? Is that real? Who's heard of it? Put a 1 if you've heard of hypertension or white coat hypertension. PG and just says no. Number 1 if you've heard of it. Yeah, you've heard of it. Is it a thing? Is it a real thing? 1, yeah. Yeah, so it's real. It's real. White coat, literally. White coat hypertension. How many of you have walked into your doctor's office or the dentist's office and had your blood pressure checked? You were fine. You've been a patient there for years. No stress, no anxiety. You think, sit down in the chair, you check your pressure, and it's like 20 or 30 points more than your norm, your baseline. And you just left home where you took your blood pressure and it was perfect. White coat, you have it? Yep. White coat hypertension absolutely exists. It's a real thing. Yeah, so you don't mean it. You don't feel stressed out. You don't feel scared. You've been there before when you're waiting for a long time. That's right. So, you walk in the door, even when you don't notice it, your brain is already tense. It's like, I don't want to be at the doctor. I'm going to receive bad news. We emotionally feel that way, but physically you may not know it. So your blood pressure goes up. But then if you sit in the room and you relax and you've talked to the doctor or you have some time to breathe, 15, 20 minutes later, your blood pressure is usually back to your norm. So it doesn't, yeah, exactly. So it doesn't mean necessarily that you have, good, I'm glad. So I think it's, it doesn't mean that you have actual clinical hypertension. It just means that for some reason with stress, with pain, lack of sleep, anxiety, your blood pressure is going to shoot up a little bit, and so it's okay. So I almost always, if a patient has really high blood pressure walking in the door and I know it's not their norm, I will let them sit, we'll talk or rest for about 15, 20 minutes, recheck it, and it's almost always back to their baseline. So yeah. So if you have that, by the way, thank you. Yeah, report those trolls, y'all. If you have that and you are able to do your blood pressure at home and you have your own blood pressure cuff, to prove that, no, it's just because I walked in the building, take your cuff with you. Hopefully you can either write down your blood pressure, say, adjust. My husband does this, by the way. So he either takes a picture of what the machine said at home before he goes to the doctor. Good, I'm glad. Cynthia Joy 74, that was good. He either takes a picture of what his blood pressure cuff says before he goes to the office, or he takes the blood pressure cuff to the office to say, look, I just tested it. This is what my numbers really are. And they're like, okay, we won't stress out as much, because he has a little bit of white coat hypertension too. I think we all do. 2 days ago, unfortunately, had a very minor, very mild car accident, so I'm fine. But, clearly dealing with the stress of that and some of the neck, shoulder pains that I've had, whatever, for the last couple of days. When I came in to have my blood pressure checks, I went, I did my due diligence as a good patient. Yeah, I'm good. God is good. He protected me. Little scratches on the car I got to get fixed, but it's okay. It could have been worse. Thank you. You're welcome. So I went to get checked out. I did my due diligence. Thank you. Prayers. Thank God. My blood pressure was probably about 20 points higher than it normally is. I'm usually like 119 over 70s or 80s. When I came in to get checked out after the accident, clearly kind of revved up and my adrenaline was rushing. It's like 130s over 90s. That's not my norm, okay? But they can look back in my chart. Massage therapy, yes, I'm doing that tomorrow. Lolly 11, I have a massage appointment. But, they know my history. They were able to look back at my other pressures. They know my pressure is usually much better than that. So you know, we chalked it up to having to deal with the accident, but thank God I'm good. So again, if you have a regular doc, you've been going to see them, they have measures of your past blood pressures, or you have your evidence from home that, look, I took my blood pressure and it's normal, then they won't be as excited. But how many times, let's say, yeah, good for charts. Even though we hate charting and paperwork, it's good for something. It's good for records. Need big cuffs. Creativity Tribe asks a good question. Yes, you do need a good enough cuff to fit your arm. So don't, you know, if you know that you have a larger than normal arm, don't let them use the kid size. You know, you need a nice stretchy one. Okay, not too big, but it needs to fit well so that, you know, when they pump up the blood pressure cuff, it's not like ripping at the Velcro. That's not good. Yeah, so you need a good measured cuff, and it should not hurt like heck to get your blood pressure done. You know, if they're putting it on too tight, that's too tight. Okay, so the definition of having hypertension, by the way, is you got big Texas arms, 2 times within a 6-week period of having blood pressures above normal. Okay, so you usually get that one, you know, slide. I'm gonna let you slide this time. I know you're stressed out. You got things going on. I'm in North Carolina, Angela. But if they measure it twice and it's high and it's been high at home, you have hypertension. So now what do we do about it? So now that we know, okay, my blood pressure's high, I know I have a family history of it. You know, everybody on my mother's side has high blood pressure and stroke and kidney disease and all this stuff. So now now what do we do about it? Okay. So then you have your natural stuff, and then of course you have your pharmaceutical. And I kind of deal with both. I'm okay with letting people do their thing to see if they can get it down on their own. I'm okay with conservative, natural, alternative treatments, unless I can prove that it's going to hurt you. If I know that this thing is probably not the best thing for you to be taking, and you bought it from over the counter, you saw it online, and you did this crazy diet that I know is going to hurt you, I'm not with that. But if I'm like, okay, well, that sounds reasonable, you know, and you're proving to me that you're doing the things you're supposed to do and your numbers are coming down, I'm with that. So, of course, off gate, got to be eating a good, healthy diet and low sodium. So you cannot, preach, hashtag preach, you cannot shake at the stove and then shake again at the table. Can't do that. Pick one or do neither, okay? So don't be a salt shaker. Can't shake the salt. Both at the stove and at the table. That's too much sodium. Too much sodium, okay? If you're watching your sodium content, if you are a good steward of your health and you turn the labels over on things to look at the sodium content, we should all be trying to limit our sodium to about 2,000, 2,500 milligrams per day. We don't want more sodium than that, okay? The crazy thing about it is that when you buy foods or you get foods from fast food or at the restaurant, it's already packaged. Himalayan salt has better sodium, okay? It's already pre-packaged and pre-salted to keep it preserved. So, you know, try not to buy packaged crackers, packaged meats, you know, a lot of your lunch meat, you know, things of that nature that have already been cooked and prepared, canned goods. They already put sodium in those things to keep them fresh. So that's right. Read the labels. That's right. And clean the cup. That's a good thing. So PG Ninja, you might be able to find some low sodium crackers. Okay. Yep. So if you like salt, which, you know, I do, I unfortunately I've been raised in the South, so I have a salty tongue. Get salt substitutes. So for instance, a lot of salt companies, good. So Ritz Crackers makes a low sodium version. Good. Thank God for Mama Karen. Get a low sodium version. So a lot of the salt companies will also have a low sodium or a salt-free, salty tasted Dash, excellent Dash diet. So those things have more potassium. Yep, Destin Doc, you're right on it. More potassium than sodium, so it's better for your blood pressure. A lot of folks here are talking about Himalayan salt, which hopefully has less sodium. I have to check that out. But check the sodium content. So even though something says low salt, still look at the label and look at your sodium content. And then just seasonings. So your oreganos, your lemon peppers, your pepper, your garlic, all that stuff. Season up your food, but without having to put too much salt in it. Okay, so that's one good thing. Watch your sodium, read the labels, okay? Number 2, exercise. Exercise. We all have to do better with that, myself included. If you can get at least 150 minutes per week of exercise, all right? Your favorite. You like to exercise, Karen? What do you like to do? 150 minutes per week of exercise. Hi, Ashley, welcome. That's good, strenuous, regular exercise. So that's 3 times a week for 50 minutes, 5 times a week for 30 minutes, however you want to divide it up. But that also, 10 minutes per week. Okay, no ma'am. Not 10 minutes. PG Ninjas, no ma'am. 150 minutes per week. Okay? So that also lowers blood pressure. Exercise is great. Lowers your heart rate. Good. Walking while watching PG TV show. Look at that. Good. So we're in half an hour each for the shows. If you watch 5 of us per week, that's wonderful. A good idea. Watch while you're or walk while you're watching TV. Get up during the commercials and walk. Sneak it in there. But that lowers blood pressure points, heart rate points, sugar, cholesterol. Wonder. So we all got to do that. Helps us to sleep better. Okay. Talking about sleep, if you're not sleeping well, please get that checked out. Lack of sleep, or even if you think you're sleeping for 6 to 8 hours and you're waking up fatigued like you never a blinked out stethoscope. Do you have one of those? If you're laying down for 6 to 8 hours, but you wake up like it's only been 2, then sleep apnea, Lolly 11, right on it. Sleep apnea is a huge problem. It's a silent, quote unquote, silent. That's funny. That's a play on words because sleep apnea folks usually snore heavily and they kind of stop in the middle of their breathing and restart. That's not good, effective, restful sleep. You'll wake up, your heart has to pump harder, your lungs have to work harder to push air. Another kind of thing that can cause high blood pressure. So be safe. Yes, mouth guards do help. That's right. Sleep apnea machine, CPAP, if you sleep with it. Some of those nose strips to help open up your sinuses so you can breathe a little bit better. Weight loss clearly helps. So sleep apnea is major, okay? Your partners will tell you, hey, you sound like you stopped, breathing for a couple of moments and then you're going to wake yourself back up. Likely sleep apnea. Talk about more treatment. So we talked about low sodium, reading the labels. We talked about, thanks for the hearts, guys. Low sodium, reading the labels. Share this with your followers. We all need to know this good info. Milton, are you still there? Tyler's dad, are you still there with me? My men folk need to know about this too. So talk to your men folk. Low sodium, reading your labels. Exercise is major. That's right. Sleep apnea could be an issue, so get checked out for that. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Now let's talk about actual treatments and taking things. Okay. Y'all name some natural things that you've heard or you've experienced using for lowering blood pressure. Shoot some things out. Good, Roberta. Good. Staying well hydrated, drinking lots of water. That's good. Throw out some natural supplements that work for lowering your blood pressure. And I'm gonna tell you if we actually have evidence about these things. So there's anecdotal evidence, meaning my mom, sister, grandmother used to take this and it worked for them. And there's evidence-based, meaning we did FDA testing, we did experiments. Let's see, turmeric, cinnamon, turmeric, good. Vinegar, good. Turmeric, okay. Okay, essential oils. Okay, keep adding them. What other ones? Y'all said at the same time? Yeah. Good. All right, so water, garlic, baking soda. Okay, I haven't heard that one. Okay. So the ones that we know good data, good evidence-based medicine practices on, and disclaimer, by the way, for all natural things that are out there on the market and you can buy and on the internet and all that stuff, not all this stuff, ashwagandha, I've never heard of that. Not all of this stuff, unfortunately, is tested and done with experiments, so we can't prove necessarily that these things work. But again, that's anecdotal evidence, meaning my mom, sister, brother, friend took it, it worked for them, so I'm going to try it. I'm okay with that, okay? But evidence-based, some of these things we have tested. Some of you guys already mentioned. Garlic is wonderful. Garlic works. So you can take a garlic supplement, that helps, okay? Vinegar does help. There's evidence to back up the fact that vinegar does help. Now again, disclaimer. This does not mean stop taking all of your blood pressure medicines and only drink vinegar. That's not what I'm saying, okay? I don't know, Dustin, Doc, if there's really truly a difference. People are talking about the apple cider vinegar a lot more nowadays. I can't say that there's proof of that. But again, let me repeat my disclaimer. Check in with your physicians, please. Do not stop your 3 blood pressure medicines thinking that if you take some garlic and some vinegar, that's going to be it. Be careful, okay? Be careful. But there is evidence that things like garlic and vinegar do help. And look at my notes, the other things that I looked up. Disclaimer, I put the disclaimer out there. That's all right. Let's see. Acupuncture. Acupuncture. There is actual evidence to prove that acupressure and puncture can bring down your blood pressure. How nice is that? We mentioned massage earlier. Massage therapy works. Evidence-based. They measured, and I talked about this before with like cortisol. Oh, really? Okay, good. Good to note, Lolly 11. They did actual studies on things like cortisol. We talked about that being the stress hormone. You know, cortisol and adrenaline at one point prior to massage. They measured it after massage, drastically lower massage. What are some other things? Other things I looked up. So these are some things that we think help, but may not really truly have the evidence to back up. How many of you have tried cupping? You know, the Olympics are over. Did you see Michael Phelps with some of those circle bruises on his skin? Right? Cupping. Cupping is great. My massage therapist does cupping. It's an ancient Chinese way of releasing tension in the muscles. Works great for pain. Does not help blood pressure. Does not have blood pressure, you know. So it's good for the massage and the relaxation portion, the pain control. And I guess theoretically, if your pain is lower, your blood pressure is lower. But just using cupping is not going to control your blood pressure. Who's heard of moxibustion? And I may not be saying that right. Moxibustion. It's another ancient Chinese herbal treatment where you have smoke. It's a thing that you light and, you know, you have smoke in the room, or you apply it to the skin. Doesn't help. Doesn't help. It's calming. Has calming effects. But just using that for blood pressure control, nope. All right, so then if you've cut out the sodium, you exercise every day, you don't feel stressed out, you're sleeping well, you've tried all these herbal medicines, they've not helped. Now it's time for medication. And medication is not a bad thing, folks. So don't think that just because you're obligated to take a medicine for a little while, that means you have to take it for the rest of your life. Number one, lavender is good for sleep. I don't know if I can say it helps with blood pressure, but it is good for sleep. And melatonin is too. Someone mentioned melatonin is great for sleep. But once you are diagnosed, you've tried everything, you know, your weight's perfect, you know, nothing has helped your blood pressure, then there are the medications. So medications are not evil. We have them and have studied them, have researched them for a reason. Knowledge does help, okay? But it also doesn't mean that you can't still do those other things. You can't still watch your weight. You can't still take garlic. You know, you can do a lot of these things together in one. And yes, medications have side effects, which we are very aware of, and we talk about them and we educate our patients on them. So if you have side effects that you're worried about, then please talk to your doctor. But guess what? If you don't take the medicine, so what's worse, you know, taking a medicine and maybe potentially having side effects, or having a stroke? Like, you know, we have to weigh the pros and cons of things and make smart decisions with your physician. Okay? Hi, Perry Gaze. So medication, what's the first type that we take? What do you know? Let's see how smart you guys are. What is one of the first medications that we prescribe for people once we say, okay, you have high blood pressure and we need to treat it? Throw out some names. What's the first one that we almost always put everybody on to begin with? Cholesterol blood pressure meds should be taken every day if you feel. There you go. D-Love, that's a good point. Take them every day, even if you feel good, because it's a silent killer. Dustin Doc says ACE inhibitors, medicines like lisinopril, acupril, enalapril, great medicines, but not the first ones we put people on. Warfarins for blood thinning, that's Coumadin, Nope. Piper's Prop, I'm not familiar with that. Angela Bland. Water pill, there you go, Lolly. There you go. Diuretic, there you go. Diuretics, so your thiazides, your HCTZ, or the long name hydrochlorothiazide, or chlorthalidone. 2 water pills, in quotes, water pills, that we put almost always as the first line treatment for anybody, any and everybody. So that's black, white, old, young, etc., female, male, okay? We call it a water pill because clearly you do release water. It's a diuretic. It helps you to pee, but that's not how it helps your blood pressure. It helps your blood pressure in equal, kind of making your sodium and your potassium levels stable in your kidney. That's how it works. That's almost always the first thing that we treat people with, okay? Gotta watch your potassium with that because, again, you are eliminating probably 3 to 5 pounds worth of water in the first couple of days. Have to watch your kidney levels. Very good, because if you're peeing too much, that can make you dry, right? Almost everyone does fine with it. But again, you got to talk to your doctors about side effects, okay? And by the way, don't take diuretics that are over the counter if you don't know if they're safe, because that's, you can get dehydrated, you can lose potassium, lose magnesium, cramp. Be careful, okay? That's first, okay? Someone mentioned ACE inhibitors. We used to think, particularly for African Americans, we used to think that ACE inhibitors like lisinopril, Accupril, enalapril, the prils, were the first line for almost all black folks who had high blood pressure. Now that is not the case, okay? They've dropped down a little bit on the tier. First is always, like we said, diuretics and water pills. Second now are medicines like Norvasc, which is also kind of called amlodipine, diltiazem. Those type of medicines are called calcium channel blockers, meaning they help with like resistance and tightness of the blood vessels. Those are now second line. ACE inhibitors are now third. Okay, so the water pill, Norvasc and its cousins, and then the ACE inhibitors. There's been a lot out recently about ACE inhibitors and their side effects, like people getting swelling of the face and a tickling cough. Yes, again, not everyone has that, but you gotta be correct. Yeah. Antonika talked about acupressure and acupuncture. Yes, she did. So atenolol is a beta blocker. Beta blocker, it's kind of a little bit lower on the scale too. There are different reasons to put people on different medicines. The ACE inhibitors, by the way, are for diabetics a lot because it helps protect the kidney as well. So my theory is if I diagnose you with something, whether it be high blood pressure, my time is winding down, so I'm talking fast, high blood pressure, diabetes, and the like, it doesn't, hi Antonika, welcome. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to take these medicines for the rest of your life. You can control these things naturally and conservatively if you're eating right, you're exercising, and losing weight, okay? You can control these things. A beta blocker is something that it helps to reduce the heart rate, and it helps to reduce the contraction of the heart to help control the blood pressure, okay? All right, y'all got it? You feel educated? You ready to go out and defeat the silent killer, hypertension? All right, I'm here. I'm here if you guys need me. Let's take a poll for the next week. Next week, you're welcome. Next week, let's see. Let me give you 3 possible topics. 3 possible, still got me good. 3 possible topics. You can give me a 1, a 2, or a 3. You're welcome, guys, for your favorite. Changes in breast cancer screening and mammograms. STDs, particularly with like the HPV controversy that's going on. Free for all, meaning you can ask Q&A and we can talk about whatever is interesting to you. So again, number 1, mammograms, and I'll count these up and tell you what we'll talk about next week. Number 1 was breast cancer screening and changes in mammography. Number 2 is STDs and all these things going on with the HPV vaccine. And then number 3 is a free-for-all Q&A. You can ask me whatever your burning questions are, okay? Leave your number for your vote. I'll tally them afterwards when I watch the replay and let you know on social media. You guys, it's been fun. I am Docswiner. Social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Perigirls, Periscope. Find me, Docswiner.com. If you need a speaker, if you ever need someone to come and talk to your group about these types of topics, let me know. Got to do my commercial. New release. Just came out, hot off the press. The Superwoman Complex, a follow-up visit. You can get them at my website or on Amazon. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you guys next Wednesday for Ask the Doc, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. Bye.